it's session 7. I'm already forgetting because it's been an amazing week, just spending time with you guys, getting to know each other. And it's been an honor to witness so many breakthroughs from so many of you. I can be more excited about what's ahead. And yeah, we're here on a Sunday because we're on a mission to create 10,000 millionaires. We are creating pretty much the first generation of millionaires in many, many families. And it is for us an honor, to be millionaire makers of so many of you. And today is no different. So today we are talking to you guys about how to add zeros to your deals, meaning how can we make bigger deals? How can we, instead of just wholesaling quickly a piece of land, perhaps do something extra to that piece of land before we wholesale it, or before we do seller financing, so that we can actually increase the value of that property. So our purpose for us being here with you guys today is to edify you, is to equip you, is to help you, because you know that there is an open door here in the land flipping space. Because if you've been house flipping, why try harder? Why not try simpler? Today is also for you guys. And if you are here with us live or watching this replay, is because you understand that 2% salary increases are not going to cut it, especially in the environment that we're on right now. If we want to create quantum leaps in income, you're going to have to be doing something different. You're going to have to make strategic decisions today, so that by the end of 2023, you're ending the year ahead, not the same as you ended 2022. So with that, I want to say hello to Jack and introduce Jack as well. How are you?
Good morning, my love. I got into the car, went over into our video studio, and I'm going to run this session from the video studio, but of course with Michelle here also chiming in. And thank you very much for the introduction. I'll be home in an hour and a half, and we'll have a nice brunch together. We enjoy Sunday together. And so with that said, guys, let's get going, talking about how to add zeros to your deals. In other words, how to take 10K deals to become $100,000 deals, how to take $100,000 deals and make it become $1 million deals, how to take $15,000 deals and make them become $150,000 deals. So the first thing I want to share from that on that end is first of all, before we get started, I first of all wanted to quickly also congratulate a whole bunch of you guys that came on board already with our Land Profit Coaching Program. So if you haven't booked your call yet, make sure you go to landcoaching.com. Make sure our team right now, if you guys could put the comments in there, that would be great. And let me also pull it up on this screen here. I'm operating on 2 different screens. So I want to congratulate again. I already congratulated Mark, Marie, Robert, Ricardo, Cherry, Stephen, but also now we have Frank, Robert, and we have Donna, we have Peter, Sarah, Justin, Chris, Russell, Baldwin, all of you guys and also in addition Eduardo, Megan. So we only have a few spots available left right now for our coaching program. So make sure you go to landcoaching.com and book that call right away, because when those spots are gone, they are gone. As I mentioned, this is not false scarcity. It's very simply a matter of that our coaches, 17 of them, only can take so many students. So when we start a masterclass, we go to them and says like, hey guys, how many can you take? They tell us based on their capacity, we add that up, and that becomes the number that is available. It's as simple as that. And once they're gone, then you might have to go on a waiting list, and you might have to start way later, or that you might have to pay higher prices, because guess what? This might be the last chance right now to still get in at the current prices. And with so much of the year still to go, because we only right now in March of 2023 right now, so we still there's by June, by July, you can already potentially have 100% ROI on your investment. You can potentially already be quitting your job. You can potentially already be on that path to that life that you have been always waiting for. So with that said, let's talk about some advanced land flipping today. Go ahead, Michelle.
Can I add something? For those of you that have already joined us, and for those of you that are thinking about it, the ones that have joined us, we know and we hear time and time again that it's because they have trusted their heart, they have trusted their intuition, they had trusted their gut, and they didn't ignore the signs, because there's consequences to ignoring a calling. And so let's not pretend like the moment that we're living right now is not monumental, that it cannot be a pivotal time in your life to really make the difference between this was my life before and this is my life after. So I just wanted to honor those that have already come on board. And for those of you that are thinking about it, thinking and waiting can be a real trap. Yeah, that's having a desire of a new abundant future, of a bigger and better future, is one part of the puzzle. But the second part of the puzzle is actually pursuing it. And when we say pursuing it, it means about taking action, implementing, having the courage to implement or seek the support and accountability support around you to actually implement and go follow through on something that can completely change your life.
Exactly right. So with that said, guys, let's talk about that. So here's the thing. So there's many ways to skin a cat, right? You can to skin this cat. You can simply go, not that we want to skin cats, of course, right? But here's the thing. The main important thing is that we showed you how on Tuesday, we showed you how to reverse engineer $500,000 a year into assuming that each deal makes you $15,000. However, there's many other ways that you can actually make deals into much more money. And here's how it typically works. When you get started, what we'll ask you is we'll ask you to pick those counties, right? You have those 2 extra bonus sessions with your master coach that you go into the county selection, into making offers and those kind of things. Then you go send out those letters, you make those offers, which are usually used the second session for, and then you got your first deal on a contract. Well, those first deals, if you are a beginner, those first deals, we're simply going to ask you to go wholesale those deals, right? You most likely want to get a full return on your investment as fast as possible. So you take this $60,000 deal that you get on a contract for 20, sell it for $35,000, make that $15,000, and do that again and again and again and again. And as you do that, within a couple of three deals, you got all your money back on your investment. You're fully in the money. You're moving forward. You're like excited as can be, and that's what we want you to be. But then, as you get more experience with land flipping here, as you get to do more deals, there's going to come across deals that you can actually, that you don't just want to pass on and make a quick $10,000-$15,000 profit, but there's deals that you can actually say, stop, let me put a little bit effort in, and then 10 extra profits for it. And what I want to share with you, for example, is a pyramid that we show here that shows a different kind of thing. So the first thing you can do, obviously, you start out with land flipping and that's what we call your cash machine, right? Everyone in business, in life, you want to have something that becomes kind of like your faucet, right? This is the faucet. It goes like this, right? And there's money coming out of that. And that is your money faucet, right? Your cash machine, right? And that cash machine is what you want, something that brings you money. Like, let's talk about that in life. In order to become wealthy, who wants to become wealthy? Give me a heck yes. Put it into the chat box right now. Give me a heck yes. Come on. I know it's a Sunday morning. I know everyone is tired. You guys might have partied last night or whatever it is, but I honor you for being here. And if you're watching this as a replay, I honor you for watching the replay on a Sunday or Monday, whenever you watch it. Because, guys, by the way, this comes down Tuesday night. So make sure you watch those, all the other ones. So if you want to be wealthy, there's a path to be wealthy. Number one is earn more money, right? Number one, earn more money. Most important part of becoming wealthy. You can't be wealthy on a $25,000 income. You can't be wealthy even on a $200,000 income if you spend it all on stupid stuff, right? So the first thing is I'm not a fan of Dave Ramsey. It says eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the next 3 years so you're debt free. Dave Ramsey is for debt-addicted people. It's not for people who want to be wealthy. Dave Ramsey has a space in this world for those who absolutely have no clue about finances and those who have no idea on how to become wealthy. And it's a defensive strategy to basically make sure that you don't go deeper and deeper and deeper into those kind of stupid holes that people go into. Instead, so by eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and cutting up the credit cards, you can get to at least to the point where you can breathe and you're out of debt. There's nothing wrong with that. but it's never going to get you to the point where you can live the life of your dreams. It just won't do it. So here's the thing. Here's how you get to this. First of all, you make more money. So you need a cash machine. And for most people, their job is not their cash machine. Their job is something that keeps them just above broke. It's something that actually, even if you're a high-powered attorney, chances are you're not putting 200 grand away every year. It's not like you're putting a ton of money away at the year. It's you living your life, you're having your expenses, and at the end of the month, there's very little left. Isn't that right? Give me another, agree with me. Give me a thumbs up or say like, I agree, or something like that in the chat box, if that is your life, if that is your life. That was Michelle in our life, in my life, right? She had a job in finance, I had a job in consulting. We came back home, our combined income was just barely enough to pay our mortgage on a starter home, to pay the car payments on 2 cars, to pay the insurance, the utilities, and things like that. At the end of the month, we had not at the end of the month, after paying all these extra things, we had $400 left to actually go and buy groceries and things like that. We were living by hand to mouth, like month to month, with no savings whatsoever. And again, and even though we looked good on the outside, we had a starter home, right? It's a 1,900 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in a nice community. We still own it. It's a rental house now. We had a car. We had 2 cars that looked good, right? We were wearing decent clothes, right? Because all the money went to those kind of things, and like most people do. So therefore, no matter what level of income you are, chances are you're not putting the money away, and you're not investing the money, and you're not making by far enough to actually be able to actually become wealthy. Unless you're the CEO of like Disney or something like that, or something crazy like that, or you strike it good with stock options in some high technology firm, which most of these never work out. Then, which if you're the exception, but that's like winning the lottery. That's not it. You can't count on that. But what we're doing here is 100% in your control. What we're doing here is 100%. You are in control of your life. You just got to work with the best. You just got to do what we ask you to do. You just got to step into your own power and model what the best of the best have done for you. And who are the best of the best? Well, it's the Land Profit coaches. It's our community. So the first thing is you need to make more money. Right? And that's your cash machine. That is the Land Profit Generator method. That's what we're talking about here. Right? But then on top of it, now as you master that, you can start now doing more and more fun things. You can do additional things. You can take 10x out of deals by, for example, subdividing or rezoning deals, right? You can also, over time, as you become a master of this, and again, this coaching program is a 12-month mastery program, right? After you become a master of it, you can start taking a piece of land and say, like, you know what, I don't want to sell this. I'm actually going to take the next step and develop it. Right? For example, Nancy Swore, one of our coaches, our former coaches, she retired from coaching. She actually she used this exact method. And then what she did, she found a piece of land. And let me actually share with you how that deal looked like. She found a piece of land, right? Let's look at a piece of land. She found a piece of land like this, and there's a road, right? There's a road, whatever it is. And this property was zoned commercial. It was zoned such that you could put something like a multifamily, or in this case, or assisted living facility on there. Well, she got that deal using our letter, using our method, using the exact method that you're being taught. The thing is, she found it about 3 years into doing the deals. Well, first year, she made multiple $100,000 in land, just flipping land. Second year, she made even more, probably $500,000 or something like that in flipping land. The third year, she continued doing those deals, but one of her deals was this deal. And at that point, because now she was a pro, and she was even a coach in our organization already, she was a complete pro, she's like, wait a second, how about I do the following? How about I split this property here, and I take this one and sell it for cash? And then what she did, she sold that piece for cash for more than what she bought the entire piece here for. So now she got the cash, and now she got a cash, and this thing sold, and now she had this property over here, free and clear, free and clear, with no money in it. A free piece of land. Anyone would like to have a free piece of land by doing that? Guys, that's what we're talking about here. That's exactly what we're talking about here, guys. That's what you want to do. There we go. Lydia, make sure you book a call, because that's what we can teach you. Because even though she retired as a master coach, the other one of our master coaches are doing the exact same thing right now. Right? And she's still available for specialty calls if somebody really wants to now talk to her about building this. Now on top of it, now she had this thing free and clear. This thing is probably worth something like $700K. Like, because now she made sure she got all the permits in and she put the plans together. She contributed that thing into the deal, raised some money, and now built a $16 million assisted living facility out of that. So what I'm saying here to you guys, what we're saying to you guys, Michelle, right, and I, is that what we are talking to you about is really land flipping is just the beginning. It's the foundation. And above that, over time, you will learn how to do more and more and more things. You will learn how to subdivide, for example, like in this case, like how to split land, or how to rezone a piece of land from agricultural to perhaps commercial, and 10x the value right there by doing that. And then on top of it, from that point of view, you can then choose to develop or just pre-develop, just split it, get some plans, and then sell it off like that. And you can make literally hundreds of thousands of dollars with just some paper plans, everything approved by the city. You have a developer come in, and they're like, oh my God, this is ready to go. And boom, and they go build on it. You don't have to build. But if you want, you can continue then the next step, which is also to build. Or on top of it, you can also take the money that you're making and invest it in multifamily, for example. We have lots of our students invest with us because that's what we do. Right? We flip land, we take the money, we sometimes split lots, we take the money, we're now getting into development, but more than anything, we're also buying multifamily properties to park our own money. Like right now, we just bought two multifamily properties in the last 3 months, and guess what? We put a ton of our own money into those deals, but we then allow other investors to invest with us also and help us, and together we get those deals, and now they're making 15-20% per year returns on those investments, and at the same time they're learning about it, and they have a place to put their money that they made using land flipping. Again, so this is one strategy. Another strategy, I don't know if you want to add something to that, Michelle.
No, I just wanted to say, we had, I can remember right now of the example of Tara and Anila. Anila is now a retired dentist, and I know that in just, her first 3 or 4 6-figure land flips, she was making more than in her practice as a dentist. And she came once here, to one of the masterclass, and she's like, Jack, now I have this incredible problem, this amazing champagne problem of I need now to figure out where can I park this money, because we're only X amount of months into the year. And so I know that I'm going to continue, creating and generating cash. My cash machine, my land cash machine is going to continue creating cash, and I need to start parking money somewhere. So those are amazing problems to have. And we see that happening inside of our community, basically, where you're gonna have those, those problems at the beginning of complexities of scarcity, where you don't have enough money, resources, knowledge, but eventually you're gonna be on the other end, that spectrum, where you're gonna have complexities of abundance, and you're gonna be looking for, investments that are going to continue, your legacy wealth, into the future. So
because think about it, like, let me tell you what, rich people don't have, it's not that rich people don't have problems. They just have higher quality problems. Their problem is not that they don't have money. Their problem is that their Ferrari just broke down, right? The problem is that somebody needs to go wash the Ferrari. The problem is that their Bentley or that their second home needs to be cleaned and they're 1,000 miles away and things like that. Those are rich people's problems. So it's not like you have more problems. You have less. You don't have problems. You just have different problems. You have, as Michelle said, complexities of abundance. You got so much that your problem becomes, what do I do with that, and how do I invest it such that I save the most taxes and things like that. But let me also now share, and that's actually, who want those kind of problems? Those problems are actually fun to solve. We had last night, we met with our CPA, right? And we talked about all kinds of structures that literally will enable us to reduce our tax burden this year to almost 0%. Anyone would like to have to make a 7-figure income and have 0 taxes? Like that is what is possible. But first, focus on making a 7-figure income, guys. Your first focus needs to become making a multiple 6 or a 7-figure income. Then you have the means to hire the best consultants and the best CPAs and the best people in the world to then figure out how to shield that income from the world. So here's another example, by the way, but let's talk about adding zeros to your deals. Here's a deal that we have done. For example, this is a road here and this is a road there, and that was a rural deal. It's a dirt roads. But anyway, we got 40 acres. So 40 acres under contract. Now these 40 acres, actually, let me put this somewhere here. So this was 40 acres. This one was 40 acres. So 40 acres, we got that property for a purchase price was $3,700. Yes, you heard that right. $3,700 for 40 acres. So here's what we did. We could have easily sold that property. We could have sold it, wholesaled it for about 25K. And as a result, after closing costs and everything, we would have made 20K on that deal. Anyone okay with that deal? Anyone okay with getting a deal for $3,700, selling it for $25,000, making a $20,000 profit? Give me a heck yes. Put it in the chat box right now. Right? Better cry in a Mercedes than on the street. Yes, that's right, Natalia. And by the way, great idea when you said about putting a mobile home on the land. I'm actually going to cover that in this example too. So here's the thing. So 20K is fine. However, as you do more deals, you start learning more and more and more, and you look at this deal and it's like, I can get way more money out of that deal than 20K if I do it right. And that's what we teach in our coaching program. So make sure you go into landcoaching.com, guys, put the link back in so you guys can book it. Even you have my permission to actually go off this webinar right now, off this Zoom call right now, and book that call or open an extra tab and book that call at landcoaching.com. I do it right now because otherwise you'll forget later on. So here's what we ended up doing. We ended up looking at the property and said, like, what if we do this? What if we split it into 5 properties, meaning one of 20 acres and 4 properties of 5 acres each, right? 5, 5, 5. And now, guess what we're going to do with this? Now what we're going to do, we're going to take these properties now, and we're going to sell them. We're going to do a little bit different calculation here. We're going to go and take the 20-acre property and sell it for $20,000, because in a rural area, if 40 acres doesn't sell automatically for twice as much as 20 acres. At some point of time, people are going to say, I got enough land. The extra acre, the extra 10 acres, the extra 20 acres doesn't make that much of a difference in the usability, in the attractiveness of that land. So you can sell 40 acres for 25K, but you can sell 20 acres sometimes for 20K. So we sold that one for 20K. Then we also took each of these 5-acre parcels and sold each of them for $7,500, but with a 10% down payment and $200 or $300 a month for the next, I don't know how many years, so but net for the next like 7 to 10 years. So basically we netted on every single one of those, after everything is being paid, about $15,000. So $15,000, that's including interest, right? I'll do that as a percentage sign, including interest, is what we received on those things. So now it's 15 times 4 is 15, is 15, is 15, is 60, plus 20 is $80,000. So minus the $3,700, which means we made $75,000 in profit on that deal. What would you rather do? Make $20,000 or make $75,000 on that same deal? Put it in the chat box, right? Put it in the chat box. There we go. So 75K. That's exactly right. So by just splitting the lots in a little bit and now selling them separately, we almost quadrupled the profits on the same deal. And that's the key to it. We still got cash. We still got here, our profit here was 15K right here, right? The profit here was $15,000, and that is another $60,000 in profits. And then on top of it, we got down payments and things. So we still walked away with almost $20,000 in cash in our pocket after this property was sold. But now, 4 times $300. Now on top of it, we're receiving $1,200 a month in cash flow. Now, could you add something to this? could you add something to this? Like, for example, Lydia had suggested, could you now work with a local mobile home store and basically put mobile homes on each of these properties? And
Or
then
tiny
perhaps,
homes.
or tiny
Or
homes,
tiny
right?
homes, yeah.
Or tiny homes on these properties, and work with them and potentially even raise the value of these properties more. We did not put any kind of utilities to this lot. So it's just by splitting it. And that was a $400 fee to the county for a paper split. Didn't even have to have a surveyor coming out. It was simply a paper exercise by knowing how to do it. This is the key. It doesn't take money to make money. It takes knowledge to make money. You don't even know what you don't know. You go out there without coaching, you come across this deal, you just simply flip it. Yeah, you make 20 grand, that's great. But now by knowing coaching, by being in coaching and by being taught these kind of things, you just increased your profits by $55,000. That's well more than what coaching even costs, guys. One deal like that just paid for the entire coaching program. One time understanding what else you can do, how you can maximize your profits, and you got more than a full ROI on your coaching program. And now with that knowledge, can you do that 10 times a year? Yes. And you just added $500,000 to your net worth. Does that make sense, guys? That's the thing. One deal done right that can literally make you more than your investment in coaching, guys. That's the answer here. So, and then on top of it, yes. So, for example, Christina Waltz, that's exactly what she does. She now goes and finds lots like this. One of our coaches, she finds lots like this, and now she goes and she splits them up. She works with a local mobile home company and a contractor. They put the water and sewer hookups on there. So it costs her a little bit of money. She actually has to buy them. But then now she's like in year 5 of this business right now, or in year 3 or 4 of this business. She's a coach with us. And the year before, she started doing those deals. She buys these properties, she splits them, she sets up the hookups, and then she has a local mobile home company coming in there and then selling them. And instead of making like 10 grand, or instead of making 10 grand a deal, sorry, this is bad here, 10 grand a deal, she's now making $50,000, 50K per lot. Now she's making $50, $100, $150, $200, $250,000 on a deal like that. Anyone would like to know how to do that? Guys, what I'm telling you here is that you're not just learning how to take a $5,000 property, get it on a contract for $500 and selling it for $5,000 with $500 down and $100 a month, monthly payments. You're not just learning how to get a $10,000 property for $1,000 and sell it for $7,000 as a quick wholesale. You're not just learning how to do simple land flipping. That's what other people out there teach. Right? You can go to all of the to any of the other guys out there. They're going to get you into a crappy program, teach you some very basic structure that you learned actually more here than those teach you in their $50,000 programs. And but instead, what you learn here is how to literally take first we have your wholesale deals, and then we'll teach you how to get the most out of those deals and how to add zeros to your dollars to your deals, and how to make, instead of $10,000, make $50,000 a deal. And and so on. Like, for example, John and Crystal, they came across, Michelle, perhaps you can talk about that. They came across basically a subdivision, right? There's roads and things and stuff like that. There's roads and there's lots on all of these, and lots here and lots here and lots here and lots here. And they got a package of 25 lots, 25 lots. And in the normal world, they would have simply gone and flipped them all and made like $10,000 or $20,000 a lot. Well, $20,000 times 25 is $500,000. Anyone okay with that? Yes, absolutely, right? You could make that. That is now anyone good with that? Thank you, Barb. But at the same time, what they're doing is, because they're advanced, they now partnered up with a local builder, and a local builder is putting full-blown houses on these things. And now, because of that, it added so much value that instead of making $20K a pop, they're making $95,000. $95,000 a deal, and that, so 95,000. Let me bring up my math here. $95,000 times 25. 95 times 25 is they're making $2,375,000 of that deal. Anyone wants a path to making $2 million? Right there it is. Because I can tell you what, every single one of you, if you want to, and if you focus on it, you can find areas like that, and you can get those deals done. Right? That's what we're talking about here. This is not just a simple land flipping. Oh my God, I'm learning land wholesaling. No, this is a journey, guys. Of course, you're going to learn land wholesaling. Of course, you're going to learn land seller financing. Those are the basics. You're going to have that down and down like nobody's business within a few weeks, within a few months. But then after that, that's when the fun comes in, because that's when you start realizing, oh my God, this lot has so much more potential. What can I do with that? But you're gonna be on your if you're not in coaching, you're gonna be like on your own. It's like, what do I do with it? And you're gonna default to just wholesaling it. Or if the deal falls apart or anything like that, you're gonna end up with nothing. But if you work with our team, you're gonna be like, hey, I got this deal. What can I do from it? And they're gonna be like, ooh, great. Let's put our heads together. Let's see how can we maximize it. And they're going to help you make extra $100,000, $200,000 on those deals. That's what we want for you guys. And as a matter of fact, we got one of actually our students here right now, Linda Reeder, who actually did a deal, if I'm not mistaken, that made her $175,000. So let's bring Linda on and let's just quickly chat with her. So Linda, are you there? There we go. There's Linda. How are you doing, Linda?
Good morning. Hi. Good.
Wonderful,
Good to
wonderful.
have you here.
Great. What?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Wonderful, wonderful having you here. Michelle, why don't you take it from here?
No, I just wanted to welcome her. I know that you have been doing some amazing six-figure land flips and that is your specialty. And, throughout this week, we talked about, scale that can be in the form of volume, basically a higher number of deals, but also it can be scale in the number of perhaps fewer deals, but higher price point deals, which the time that we're in right now is an amazing time to pivot to these higher, to these higher land profit deals. And that kind of has become your specialty, Linda. Can you tell us a little bit more about, how long have you been in coaching? How many deals? What are you doing right now? What's exciting happening in your little land cash machine over there in Reader World?
Okay. Well, I have been in real estate prior to this. And the reason that I got into land flipping was exactly what you were talking about, Jack, about the legacy wealth and creating more notes and creating more chunks of money for some of those development and syndication type opportunities. So, and I think just because of where I live, the land values are, and the housing prices are so high that feels okay to me to do bigger deals. So I basically mail to higher price properties, and some of them have been higher priced than I actually even thought. The one that was $175,000 spread, the seller basically just stated his price, and which was a little high based on the LPG algorithm. But then I started looking at the comps, and one of the listed comps was one sold comp wasn't too bad, but there was a listed comp that was 3 times the price that I would pay the seller. And I thought, okay, there's still a lot of headroom there. Even if I may be overpaying a little bit per the algorithm, there's a lot of headroom there to come in between and still be a bargain. So I just picked a number, and it was kind of one of those things. There's not a lot of comps, so it's whatever buyer and seller agree to. So I picked a number, talked to a lot of builders, talked to a lot of people, good experience to build my buyers list and my builder list in that area. And then ultimately sold to a developer. And I think now, after hearing what Jack was just saying, I'm in the future, I may consider developing that and maybe going a little bit further versus just flipping it. I had a short runway with the seller on this, shorter than normal runway, but after hearing what Jack was just saying, I would certainly be considering the development piece. And
Linda, that is part of the normal process, right? The first time around, you just sell it, and if this deal would have come along,
$175,000, that is an amazing.
It's an amazing thing. There's nothing to beat yourself up over. Like, who would like to make $175,000 on one of their deals? But here's the thing: like, if that would have been your first deal, you might have shied away from it, right? Or you might have done it less even, or you might have offered it for less money and so on. So as you grow, your skills grow, your ability to do more complex deals grows. So after this agreement, now, hey, I can make 175,000, but I probably left another $500,000 on the table. Or whatever number is. So next time, or perhaps because now you also have $175,000 more in the bank, you can perhaps I'll buy it and I'll develop it myself while I do additional deals that still pay all my bills, right?
Right. So this is year 2 of coaching. And I feel like I'm hitting my stride more in terms of what I delegate out, because you have to do it yourself to learn the ropes, and you kind of have to go through that. But I feel like I'm getting more efficient in terms of what I delegate to whom. And I'm building my dream team in my areas and my counties better. So if something comes up, it's like I've got the drone guy and the soil guy and the developer and my builder list and all that. So I feel like I've got my dream team built, and like you say, you just keep building on what you did before, and you can do things a little bit faster and a little bit more creative. I have a couple of other bigger deals now. Actually, I'm just talking to a couple of sellers this weekend about a couple other bigger deals, and pushing. The follow-up is very big, is very critical as well. So learning more about that. But yeah, what you were just talking about is very interesting.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, so what would you tell somebody that's watching here and that is considering coaching? How was your experience in coaching?
It was good. I think the community is really important, that you have your master coach and you've got your accountability partner, but you've got the community on the Facebook group, the coaching Facebook group. You've got the almost pretty much daily calls, which are the Q&A and the cohort calls and all that. And then you can always post questions or whatever. The thing that I have found really, really helpful is the archive of the calls. Because if I'm stuck on something, then I can go back and binge watch. I'm still working. I still have a day job. I'm self-employed, but I still have a day job. And so I can go back and I can binge watch on that topic, and get different perspectives and stuff, and just kind of immerse myself in that topic and kind of get past whatever my issue is. So I have found the archiving to be super helpful. And then there's that document or resource area with sample templates and all that. That's just super helpful, because I did a house real estate and some other types of things before, but not land. So just having the land resources has been super helpful. And
for those who and for those who are actually already in the housing area, you can probably confirm that land flipping is not harder than house flipping. It's just completely different, right?
There's a lot of different things. I was looking to do something virtual with the pandemic and everything, and everybody was like, oh, you can do house flipping virtually and remotely. And it's like, yeah, you can, but land flipping just kind of struck a chord with me a little bit better. There's, like you say, no toilets, termites, and tenants and all that. And there's just an easier way to do it. So that's what really got my attention about the land flipping. And then the chunks of cash for the legacy wealth and doing the development piece. Those were big things as well.
There's only so much you can do in house flipping. I mean, go ahead, Michelle.
No, I was just saying, I always say, why try harder? Try simpler. Why try to go through a wall when you can go through an open door, with land, for sure.
Yeah. Yes. And it just simply makes more sense, particularly if you want to work remotely. So so what's the plan now for this year? Where are you going to end up with this year? What's your income goal for this year?
My income goal for this year is $1 million.
All right.
And my pipeline looks pretty good, but I'm still pushing. There's just weird stuff happens. And I think the other lesson is just to keep pushing forward and just get past the weird stuff. Like literally yesterday, I had 2 really good buyer prospects out at this one property, and then I'm getting reports about it. Oh, is that the one that's underwater and it's all flooded? And I'm like, I don't think so. And it turns out there's a beaver that's building a dam that is backing up the water. So now I have to deal with that. So it's just weird.
The beaver.
So there's just weird stuff like that you just have to keep going. And that's one thing that's very helpful with the coach, is just keep going, keep going. but just, you're always hearing about different things that different students and coaches are doing, and like what you were just talking about with the development. So I want to get more into that kind of thing. And I have my stretch goals for my income, and then I have my whys of why I want to have that income.
Beautiful. You're executing exactly what we ask you to do. exactly the way we ask you to do it, and as a result, you see the results. So with that said, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
And thank
it.
you for trusting us with now your cash that is coming out of your cash machine on the multifamily side, because I know you're investing with us over there as well. So thank you for that. Thank you for your trust.
Yes, and thank you for all the due diligence that you guys do around those multifamily deals, and the detail and the follow-up that is very reassuring in terms of these kinds of investments. So thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again. So great. So with that, Linda Reeder right here. So hey guys, again, so this is again the process. Let me share one more time quickly the pyramid here that I had shown earlier. Again, so again, you start with land flipping. That's it. Now, if you're sick and tired of house flipping and you want to move over to land flipping, we want to welcome you, right? But remember, it's a completely different process. Like I talked to a house flipper the other day. This is like, well, yeah, Jack, I got started with some land stuff, but it's just so different that I didn't want to do it. And it's like, here's the thing. So that's why it's like house flippers often think, oh, I don't need coaching because I already know real estate. Well, it's very, very different. So keep that in mind. So the other thing is like, again, but land flipping now becomes your cash machine. You make these $175,000 checks occasionally, right? Now, Linda is not doing those every week, right? She's also in between doing probably some $10,000 deals and so on. And you'll do the same thing. But then once you do that, and now over time, you get more experience, you start doing more advanced things like these land flips or like semi-development things where you work with a mobile home company and a contractor, and they put in the utilities into their lots, and then mobile home company puts the mobile home on there. But all of these things allow you to really 5x, 10x your profits on a deal. You don't do that on day one. So if you're like the first time, it's like, what are these guys talking about? This is scary. Forget about it, because you're not going to do this on day one. You're going to do this when you are ready. We're going to show you how to do it over time, but if you're not ready, you just flip, wholesale, seller finance. You're building $5,000, $10,000 a month in cash flow. You're building multiple $100,000 a year in cash influx coming in, and life is good. And you might never want to do anything different than that. 100% okay. But I know that after a couple of years of that, or after sometimes 6 months of that, you're going to be ready, because your confidence will have grown so much. Your abilities will have grown so much. Michelle talked about that the other day. There's the 4 C's, right? And the first C is what's called, when you need is a commitment. Commitment. I might spell this wrong here. Please forgive me. I'm German. Commitment. The first thing is you need to do a commitment. Without a commitment, nothing happens. In life, the word committing comes from the Latin word committere, which means to cut other options off. It doesn't mean to dabble a little bit, butterfly a little bit here, butterfly a little bit here, butterfly. No, it means get in line and stay in line. If you identified land flipping as your method, then you freaking make it happen. You get the resources, you pull in, you do what it takes, and you go get it done. Right? You go, and if that means asking your Uncle Bob to give you a loan to get into coaching, then that's what it means. If that means selling your car like Norman did, then that's what it means. If what it means is doing a garage sale and selling a bunch of stuff in order to get things started, then that's what it means. Whatever it takes, but you put the blinders on. You say, like, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see my shining star. Land flipping is what it is. I'm going to stop engaging in any other real estate activity other than that. This is what I'm going to do. Right? And then you go, that you commit. After commit, what happens is you're going to be like, crap, what did I just commit to? Like, you're going to be scared. Being scared is normal in life. Being scared, like having courage, the word courage is not doing something without fear. It's doing something in spite of fear. Having fear is the most normal thing in the world, guys. By the way, this process is how you learn anything in life, right? So the next one is courage. You need to have courage. So you need to develop a little courage. Without courage, nothing happens in life. right? If you just, this is you leaving the comfort, you're leaving your comfort zone, guys. That's what's happening here. You're leaving your comfort zone. Bye-bye comfort zone, because nothing happens in the comfort zone. It's warm and fuzzy, and it's filled with Bud Light and Miller Lite and whatever beer you want to drink, and it's filled with Netflix, and it's filled with backyard barbecues and things like that. But it doesn't take you anywhere in life. You got to have courage. You got to step out of that comfort zone and say, you know what? It's going to be scary. It's going to be good. But I see all the success around me. I see all the support around me. I got to do this. Because otherwise, what's the alternative? Ask yourself what the alternative is. How will you feel if your life is the same or worse today than it is, or in 10 years from now than it is today? You wouldn't be here, by the way, if you would be 100% happy with your life right now. You would not be here. Because why would you be here? If everything is just like butterfly and rainbows in your life and you're absolutely perfectly happy, there's no reason to learn about anything else. There's no reason to learn about something new. There's something in your life that you want to change, and you just need to do the commitment and the courage to get it started. Then what happens is the third C is you building capability. By the way, this capability, this is not something we came up with. This is something Michelle's coach. She pays tens of thousands of dollars a year for 4 times a year for 1 day to be with a group of 50 people in one environment. That's it. There's nothing in between. There's no weekly sessions or daily sessions or things like that. And but she learned that concept, and it still is something amazing. So and she's been part of that for how many years? Like 8 years?
I'm going actually on my 10th year right now.
On
I'm
your 10th
about
year,
to
right.
renew
So
again
10 years.
because I mean I'm surrounded with some of the most brilliant entrepreneurial minds of our time.
Exactly
And
right.
I usually in 1 hour of that very 1 hour of that 8-hour day that I do meet once a quarter, I get an idea, I have an aha moment, I have a breakthrough, a download that usually makes me many, many times over what the cost of that coaching is, for the year. So
exactly right. So the thing is, so again, and then we bring that back to our own coaching students. So the next thing is like you're building then capability, and capability is like where you actually do the deals. This is what we do in coaching. We teach you that, but you got to bring those two. This is you. This is you. This is you. This is we. And then afterwards, you're creating, what's the first one? Which is confidence. Confidence. And confidence, by the way, is what then takes you to do those 10x deals. Like you built the confidence, like Linda right now, I did $170,000, $75,000. Well, I can do the next one and do that. But before, so that's what I wanted to kind of cover right now for a second. But what I also want to cover right now, I want to quickly go through.
Once you have confidence, what happens is that you then commit to bigger and bigger deals or bigger and bigger opportunities, because you have that you rest in the strength and that prior confidence.
Exactly right. So with that said, guys, I just want to quickly for like 2 minutes go through what's included in our coaching program one more time. Again, we covered it in every session. Again, it's a 1-year, 101 coaching program with our master coaches that are doing all these 10x kind of strategies already. So when they're going to teach you the nuts and bolts, but they're also ready to teach you all the advanced stuff when you're ready for it. Then on top of it, there's multiple, like Linda said, there's multiple trainings every single week. There's almost daily sessions. Then you get 2 jumpstart calls with your master coach in the first 30 days. In addition to everything, we get you to a 6-week training at the very beginning to make sure that you have the nuts and bolts and everything, fully understand everything. You have an accountability partner that actually reaches out to you on an ongoing basis to make sure you don't fall behind. And any question that you have, we're going to get the answer for you. The accountability partner is in charge of making sure that you tell them, I have this and this challenge. They're like, wait a second, let me find you the answer. And they go roam our universe of solutions, and they'll put you together with the right person or get you the answers. So we leave no stone unturned to get you to success. Then on top of it, you get our software. You get a 2-day training for the software. You get our processes. You get our advanced contracts. You get the archive of all the group calls that ever happened. You can binge watch them for days at a time. And on top of it, you get 2,500 leads. Then also on top of it, you still get right now $2,000 off if you pay in full. You get 2 extra calls with our one-on-one coaches, in addition to all the bunch of other extra calls you get anyway. On top of it, as a game changer, you also get our blind offer campaign done for you. Again, we picked a county that we already know deals are happening. We picked leads that we haven't used ourselves, so brand new leads, individual leads. And for the first 15 spots, and I think we might only have like 1 or 2 spots available. If not, I'll open it for an extra 3 spots. So for the next 3 people that get this program, that enroll right now, you're still going to get that. I'm just going to make that executive decision right now. You get an extra 200 leads that we have vetted already. We have already know what the value is. We already made an offer. We know what to offer this, and we're going to, together with you, make the offers directly out of the gate for you. So literally next week or the week after, I think next week it happening, you're already sending your first set of offers out. We're not playing around, guys. You want to get successful in land flipping? We're going to have you send out offers in a week or week and a half from now, max. How cool is that? You literally can get out of the gate and send out offers and potentially make your first $20,000, $30,000 right away by getting deals under contract and selling them. So in the first 30 days, you might already have made 20 grand. How cool is that, right? And on top of it, you do a campaign for you. Then there's a bunch of deep dive sessions on how to talk to the buyers and sellers. We covered that in session 3, and in session 4 again, and in session 5 one more time. We talk about tracking what matters, which we covered on Friday with that spreadsheet, and how to actually track everything you do. Well, Mike Smyer is the master of that. He's going to go and spend an hour and a half with you guys on that. We're going to talk about how to actually use paid advertising to sell these properties even quicker. And then you also get 2 tickets to the live event. Again, all of this is included in this program. It's a 1-year mastery program. And all you need to do right now is book a call at landcoaching.com to do that. Book a call at landcoaching.com. I would like, no matter if you think you can't afford coaching, again, we have different levels. We have two levels of this coaching. We have other programs. We have payment plans. Even if you have even an inkling of like, I think like, if you're basically like, I would really like to do something with Jack and Michelle and their organization, book a call. Because no matter where, we can meet you at whatever level you are. There's different programs at different price points with payment plans. So make sure you book that call. Don't let that chance pass you by. Just get in, book a call, be there, and attend it. So with that said, guys, I think we have another guests coming in here, and we have actually Diana and King Louis. Let's bring them up for a second. Oh, there's Diana. No, I think is King Louis also coming, or is it you?
It's just me today.
Wonderful.
No, it's not just
today's girls' eye.
Yeah, and it's not just you. It is
you.
It is you. Yeah, have the confidence to take up space. You are enough.
There we go.
Even though we love King Louis, of course.
I know. Yeah, I know everybody gets excited to see him too. I'm super happy to be here. Thank you so much.
So tell us. So you also have been in our program. You actually renewed for a second year, I believe, right? And,
I did. Yes.
And you're working on a deal right now that could potentially make you 100 grand. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Right. So we actually just started with title company. And I want to just say a little about that. So we are buying it for about 30K, and everything is happening because we have we have had the guidance of coaching, and something that we learned with the experience through the first year is how important it is the communication with your sellers and your buyers and have relationships. So this is happening because we have a really good relationship with the seller, and we're moving right now into closing. Hopefully it's set up to close at the end of the month, and then we will put it out for sale. And conservative, it will be about 70K in the conservative side. We want to just flip it and move on, but it has potential to do more. And that is one that we're actually kind of partnering with a developer in the area, and that will depend on how fast we can move. That will be the profit.
Wonderful, beautiful. And now, how was your experience in coaching?
Jack, I think, there is a reason that we renew a second year. And it's not because we needed, because we didn't know, but because we didn't learn at the beginning. I believe it's a process, and we learn every day. But beyond that is, I love the community. And just like Michelle was saying that she will renew, I don't know when I'm going to start renewing LPG, because I love you guys. I really do. And even though they can be other things out, the level of commitment that you guys have with us, all the coaches, the students, it's a family. It's really a family. And I love to be part of it. And this second year, we're learning so much more, and you guys are giving so much more with the second year students into how to, do this business in another level. And, it's just priceless. And then my kids are in the background.
Thank you so much,
wonderful.
Diana, for saying that, because, at the end of the day, we don't compete on price, because we're not here to sell a course, or we're not here to sell a program. But we're here to be the best in our space. And yes, we bring that level of commitment of being the best in class at what we do. And we expect others to bring their best as well. And you guys are constantly bringing it. So, and that's what keeps the community, I think, so incredibly elite in a way, where we're like, okay, we are building business athletes here. And it's because of that, because you guys are also bringing your best. So, so thank you for that.
Yeah. Now, can you compare how was life before and how before you started this, and how is life now?
I want to mention, especially this year, it has been a lot of things happening in our personal life, and I don't even see how we could have been able to somehow balance these personal things that are going on if we weren't able to have this business. And the ability of me being so flexible to run the business. And even though honestly we haven't, the beginning of the year was really hard to stay focused, we're still here and the business is still running. And I have been able to take care of all those personal things in my life that, that is going on as a family. And that would not have been an option if I would have been, working on a 9-to-5 job. It would just not happen. And so I'm extremely grateful that I can get to, get up every day and take my kids to school, pick them up from school, come back and work in the business and focus and, listening to the Q&A calls and all the wonderful things that happens in those calls. And then, spend time with them. Do you put a price on the coaching? But in my eyes, I see it as a priceless, because what you get from it really, you cannot put a price on that. You cannot put a price on the confidence that you gain, the knowledge, the relationships that you make, all the connections. There is no price for that. And, that's how I see it, that's how we see it, that, as a family with Jean-Louis, with King-Louis,
Yeah.
It's really now, there is no price for that. And I mean, even if you put a price, we got, the money from the coaching so quickly back.
I know. I wanted to talk about that, because you guys basically went all in. You were in a masterclass. I remember you, and you were attending every single session. And you're like, okay, we're doing this. There's no going back. And within a few, how many contracts did you get? How many, accepted offers in those first few weeks?
I think by month 3, and this after, kind of starting from scratch, building, that company and all this stuff that goes with it, we had about 120 offers.
That were accepted.
No.
Cindy, that were accepted. No, we have, by that time, we had, if I remember, we had 6 that were accepted and closed deals.
Okay.
There we go. 90 days into it.
And one of them was
$102,000,
I think, right? One of those very first ones, and it was a double escrow, so you didn't have to put any of your own money.
No, and yes, that one was 102 profit, like after paying closing, after paying the seller, everything. It was 102 that I just saw in my bank account, and I was like, it's a little hard to process because I just kept telling my husband, I'm like, how long it would have taken me at my job to get this that we got in one deal. It's just, it's just in
and
I
not just in
lost.
one deal, in 90 days.
Yes. Yeah. In 90 days. And it's after you do it, like you really have to have the commitment. And I was actually talking this week with somebody, and it's like you really have to. I think one of the best questions that you guys ask in the masterclass at the beginning is knowing your why. And I talked to somebody this week, and at the moment when she got kind of around LPG and she went to the masterclass and all that, she was excited and she was in a difficult kind of situation, but that changed. And now she's more comfortable in her 9 to 5. And I went back to that. I'm like, you really need to, tap back into that why and see, the reason why you're starting that. And I think there is a lot of value in really knowing that you want this, but you need that. You need the commitment, the courage to do it, because like any business, it is challenging and it takes, time. And with the coaching, it's just like you accelerate all that, something that could have taken us, I don't know how many years to get to that point. We got it in 90 days.
Trying to piece things together here and there and trying to basically duct tape versus from the get-go doing the right things at the right time for the right reasons. That's what I that's how I see. And whenever we want to start anything and become the best at something, I'm like, who's the best already there? Let me go see if I can hire that person, because I know what that's going to do in terms of speeding up the process of seeing the results that I want. And so I like making decisions, for that 2.0 version of me that wants to see those results. And you cannot do them by trying to piece things together all on your own, because let's face it, every single one of us has a different superpower, has a different thing that you're good at. And it doesn't mean that you can't become good at that also, but it also means that why not tap, into the genius of someone to get there quicker, faster, and at the very first year, we're going to say, please don't mess with our process. Don't mess with our method. Don't mess with, with our system. Do not change the freaking letter. Do not, just do exactly like we tell you to do it, because it's been proven countless and countless times, we've been able to replicate this and others. But then maybe in the future, in year 2 and year 3, you're starting, Diana, to take a little bit of liberties, and you're like, okay, let me tweak this, to customize it to how I personally do business, and so on and so forth. So you'll probably start seeing already a little bit of that, in year 2. Right?
Yeah. It's like, you follow the recipe and then you put your little flavor.
Exactly.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's the same. If you go to a restaurant, if everyone would make everyone learns how to make a pizza kind of the same way. But over time, different flavors come up, and that's exactly what you will do over time. And some of you guys might be content doing 10 deals a year, making $100,000 a year, and doing this as an extra income and putting this in your IRA. We have one of our students, Steve Hilbon, Hall of Famer. He only does like 8 to 10 deals a year, and he does it out of his self-directed IRA, Roth IRA, and he basically makes like $100,000 or $150,000 in that self-directed Roth IRA tax-free. That's all he does, because he's in his mid-late 60s. He's basically retired, and he's traveling the world. That's his traveling money. That's his kind of his
he calls it the perfect crime.
Yeah, he calls it the perfect crime, because by doing it in a self-directed Roth IRA, he basically, the profits come in, and because he's over 59 and a half, he can take the profits out the next day tax-free. Right? So there's tax strategies, and those are the things that we also teach. It's not just land flipping. We have sessions that we talk about that and things about all this different kind of things coming in. So what would you tell somebody who's on the fence right now, and whether or not they should book a call, they should get into coaching, Diana, before we let you go?
And feeling a little bit of fear, because I there's been a combo on the chat somebody, is saying, there's a little bit of fear, and I am scared and, getting out of my comfort zone. And what would you say to someone like that?
If you don't try, if you don't take the leap, you're going to be 1 year after staying in the same place.
Yeah.
And as you were mentioning, being in the comfort zone is not going to lead you anywhere. And it really, I believe it really depends on, a person individually and why they want to do it. But if you have that, kind of burning desire of taking your life to a different level and to leave something, behind you, like I don't see anywhere else than with the LPG to really take you to live that. And yes, it's scary, it is a fear, but you just like I was saying, you just got the courage and you do it. And I understand, but I think we cannot see things just money based when it comes to a program that is going to take you, to change your life. Mm-hmm. And yes, you can look, it is, I have to pay for this, and then I don't know how. What you guys are going to teach us. You teach us how, and then get the money to pay back the coaching.
Yeah.
So like, just take the leap, and that is like, you guys are not in better hands. It's not just Jack and Michelle. They are, they are right here and under, there is all these people that are with us at the whole time. It doesn't matter what time you have a question. It doesn't matter. There is always going to be someone there helping you.
Thank you.
So just, go ahead and book the call. That you don't know until you talk to them, and you don't know until you take the first step. And usually that's the scariest part of things, taking the first step. So just jump in.
Thank you very much. Right. With that said, we let you go for your Sunday. You have the kids around and then so thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much. Love you guys.
With that,
love you. And I love this lady because she's like me with a very thick accent, and probably she was self-conscious about that accent in the beginning. You're like, oh my gosh, what is the seller going to think about, when they get on the phone with me or with a buyer? And in spite of that, or because of that, she's making it happen. And did you hear her talk about actually having amazing rapport and relationship with her seller and buyer? And what you sometimes think is the thing that will hold you back is sometimes even your superpower, because it makes you relatable. It makes you, human, with the seller, with the buyer, and so on and so forth. So the reason why you might think right now that you should be waiting to make that call, or you should be waiting to jump in, might be actually the reason why you should be doing it. So thank you so much to Diana. And I also want to honor the entire team because, here they are on a weekend as well with us. Several people of our team, our land experts, have opened up actually extra time slots during the weekend as well to talk to you guys. So I want to thank them here publicly as well for being on a mission with us.
And guys, right now we have probably 11 spots or so left. So make sure you guys, I just got a notification that somebody else joined us too. So we have about 11 or 12 spots available. So make sure you are jumping on those calls. And then Megan, yes, if you're in Arizona and you realize about daylight savings time that it changes, because in Arizona we don't use it. That's as soon as this is done, it automatically shows up on Facebook, so you can watch it right afterwards. I don't know, we're running again a little bit over, but I do want to cover one thing, and that is particularly for those in real estate or for those who are watching the news or so out there, guys. Let me tell you one thing. Again, there's no, we are running real estate as an apparel universe to other ones. By the way, there's always I always have to laugh when people say well, is real estate a good investment right now? There's no such thing like real estate, guys. There's no such thing like real estate. There's houses, there's commercial, there's multifamily, there's retail, there's office, there's all this kind of different real estate. There's land, of course, right? And every one of those runs on a different kind of a cycle. You look
and
at
not only different cycle, Jack, but also you're going to have very recession resistant, pockets of the country, areas, exactly right. Counties, markets. And so Yeah.
Like, for example, when the market when in 2009, when house prices went down 80% in Arizona, in Omaha, they did nothing, right? They did absolutely nothing. Also, when real estate prices went crazy like that in single families all over the country, guess what happened with retail? It went down, right? Because Amazon was taking everyone's business away, so retail was suffering. But at the same time, what happened with warehouses during that time? Well, Amazon and all these kind of online delivery companies, they need space to warehouse their stuff close to the customer. They can't just have big distribution centers and that's it. In order to deliver fast, you want to have warehouses close by. Warehouses went through the roof. Right at the same time, and again, so while we were in the boom here, another thing was in a bust, another thing was in a boom, another thing was stable. So you cannot look at real estate as something like, oh, real estate is good or bad. It does not exist. Geographically, on top of it, there are differences, and it's the same thing for land. Right now, we're in a market where house prices are slowly coming down because they were overshot. They went crazy in 2020, 2021, and early 2022, and they went beyond the goal. So they're coming down again, not aggressively. They're not crashing. They're just coming down a little bit in certain markets, right? Guess what? But nothing, that doesn't mean that builders are not building. Builders are continued to build because at certain price levels, it still makes sense. And on top of it, land is on a completely different trajectory. It's 100% recession-proof and had always been, but right now it's even driven by two other factors. And the number one factor is the fact that 48% of all Americans work from home. And when they work from home, guess what? That means they now can live wherever they want to live. And not everyone, as I covered yesterday, not everyone wants to live, like if this is a city, not everyone wants to live in a high rise over here, right? Not everyone wants to live in a cookie cutter home where there's like one house right next to the other and looks identical to each other. Some people want to have 5 acres outside of town. Some people want to have 20 acres further outside of town and then go there, spend the week there and work from there. You bring in the RV, having solar, having things. And you know what? With things like with satellite internet right now, Skylink, by Elon Musk, right? With Skylink, you can have internet over here. With Skylink, you can have you can be 10 miles outside of town, build a house on 10 acres, on 5 acres, and then if you need to commute into town, you can commute once a week. Right? Retirees, the baby boomers are in droves retiring and realizing that they don't have enough money to retire. And guess what? They're buying little lots outside of town, all over outside of town. So there's 2-3 different factors that massively push for land. Number one, people can now live where they want to live, and not everyone wants to live in a cookie cutter home. Some people want land. Number two, the retirees are pushing onto land. And number three, with the advent of technology, that you now can have internet access in the middle of nowhere, if that's where you want to have land, or but even also a few miles outside in the outskirts of town where reception usually traditionally wasn't very good, now allows you to live where you want and work where you want. Let me repeat that one more time. You can now live where you want and work where you want. Our company, our coaching company, we have between our software team and our accountability partners and our coaches and our support team and everything together, we're a company of 70 people. Right? We're a company of 70 people. Guess what? They're all over the world, all over the United States, some even all over the world. Right? Yeah. We are. And it doesn't matter. They can live, I don't care, they can live on 20 acres. And so do millions of people. 70 million people in the United States can live where they want to live right now. So it doesn't matter where you live. So this is a big shift. People looking at house prices are coming down. How come these guys telling me that you can do deals in land? Because we're not subject to that. We're not subject to the interest rates. We're not subject to that. Banks don't like to lend on land anyway. Banks, that has always been a cash or a seller financing kind of game. So it's completely outside of the banking world. And this is working right now because of those things better than ever. So you have the opportunity of jumping from something that is right now harder to make work into something that works better than ever before. So if you're in house flipping, come over. If you've never done in real estate before, then start with something that actually works instead of something where you have hundreds of thousands of people competing for the same kind of houses out there. Just wanted to make sure I say that at the end. So again, that along with everything that was said right now today, right, that Diana and that Linda mentioned and that Michelle said and so on, makes this a perfect business to get started with right now. So book that call and then we'll see you. We have one more session tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I
ahead.
just wanted to add, here you have the opportunity in a community to tap into a group of people that are the top 1% and the best at what they do. They're the sharpest mind in investing. So that whenever you feel wobbly, uncertain about anything, they're there to help you put one foot in front of the other. And right now, if you're listening, if you've been watching replays, there's this calling or this whisper in your heart that is an expansion. It's a cry for expansion that is calling you forward. And so what I want to say is that this could be right here, right now, your most courageous work. And I want you to think of it as a dream. And whenever we have dreams, I always like to trust that those dreams are given to me and are put into my mind and into my heart. And that with those dreams come the allies, the resources, the mentors, the everything that is going to help me basically help that dream come to fruition and actually bloom, or that seed to sprout, and become something incredible, amazing. Because this decision right now, this moment, could really open up a completely new, different timeline. It begins a completely new, different timeline for you and your family. It almost like I don't want to sound like a little like woo here, but a different dimension for you. Yeah, it is opening up, and it's time to step in, guys. If we've been here 7 days, it's time to walk through that door and bust it open and really, see every single day progress towards your dreams and towards your goals happening, and wins happening, and being surrounded in an environment where wins are constantly happening as well. And that will become a self, how do you call it? Self-fulfilling prophecy. Your dream will actually come to fruition. Sometimes, we find ourselves trying to seek advice and counsel, on important decisions from people that do not get you, because they're not entrepreneurs. What we're teaching you here is to become a real estate entrepreneur in a way. Yeah, it's not just investing, but become an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur are people that are leaders, that go first in our families, that we're the first ones to get a master's in our companies, the first ones to in our families, the first ones to emigrate to a different country, the first ones to actually become millionaires. So there's a whole lot of firsts between Jack and myself, and within our families. And that's what you're here for. We're magnetizing other people that want to become the first in their families of becoming and going from 1 in a million to becoming a category of 1, of going from 0 to hero, of going from failure to freedom, and so on and so forth. So yeah, we're excited. We're thrilled to have you guys here. There's for those of you that have missed any of the sessions, they're inside of the Land Profit Masterclass group. You can also reach out to your land expert and get the links to any of the replays. Also, I want to also bring to your attention that up on top on the Facebook group, the banner every single day since Thursday, it has been changing. And that's because every single day we have extra bonus sessions that are happening inside of that group as well, that you can go in there and watch at your convenience. All the replays are coming down on Tuesday. We turn all our attention and energy to onboarding our new students and going pretty much all animal on them, because that's exactly what happens. And so let's do this, guys.
Again, if you're not in the Facebook group, make sure you contact your land expert, because we have created an outside of Facebook replay page where all the replays are in there too. So you don't have to, if you, for some reason you're not on Facebook, make sure you reach out to your land expert, let them know, send a direct message so that we can send you those replays too.
And answer the call of your personal legend. This could be your most courageous work right here, right now.
All right, with that said, see you guys tomorrow morning, one more session. Actually, tomorrow and Tuesday, one more session, 9 o'clock Pacific.
Bonus Q&A tomorrow, yeah.
Q&A, bonus Q&A. We assembled all the questions you guys asked. We're gonna answer as many as possible tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there, bye-bye.
Bye.